So this video is all about the process of getting in touch with D2M, us reviewing your idea and then getting a project underway. So maybe you're thinking about getting in touch, but you're a bit nervous about something and you've got a few questions. Well, this video is for you because it takes you through the whole of that initial process and hopefully helps you to know what's going to happen when and give you that confidence that you can get in touch and that we're the right people to speak to. So how does the process start? Well, the process starts by you getting in touch, either by filling in the contact form on our website or picking up the phone and having a chat. And the first thing that we'll do is suggest that you sign a confidentiality agreement. Now, this is because the confidentiality of your idea and your ability to patent it later in the process is absolutely critical. And we're trying to protect your idea and make sure that you're reassured that we can't do anything with your idea that isn't in your interests and isn't with your permission. And that really is all a confidentiality is. It just means that we're not going to share it with anyone else and that everything we do to develop that idea will be for you and with you. So that's quite critical. And I would be very careful with any design firm who doesn't do that and starts asking you about your idea before a confidentiality agreement is in place. Now from there, the next step really will be a call or a meeting to discuss and go through your idea in more depth. And that really is to help understand whether it's something we could help with, because there's certain types of products that actually you might be better off developing with a different design firm. There's certain things we don't do, like kind of medical or aerospace or high-end automotive products or high-tech products. You know, that isn't really us, and there are probably other agencies that are better if that's your type of product. So that's part of what this stage is about. But it's also about us really understanding what you need and what you want out of the process. Because you see, slightly later on, we're going to create a proposal, which basically is a plan for how your idea is developed. But to do that, we really need to fully understand what you're trying to achieve, a bit more about the idea and how far you've got it already, and your aspirations really, and how you want to develop the product and what's important to you. So this is quite an in-depth process to really fully understand all of that. Once we've done that, we will review and assess the idea internally with the design team to try and ensure that actually this is something we can help with and also work out the best way forward. And if there are some key risks facing your product, maybe they're that it's going to be too expensive to manufacture because of the materials you want to use, maybe that's about kind of technically we don't think it's going to work. We'll look at all of that and then we'll formulate this proposal, which is the development plan for your project, based around how we can minimize your risk and what things we can look at early on in the project so that we're all reassured that once these areas are dealt with, that you've really onto something and your idea is going to be successful. We can't ever guarantee it, but we certainly can de-risk it by doing certain things like technical feasibility assessments or manufacturing assessments early on in the process. Now, creating the proposal is done by one of our senior product designers. He would be the guy who probably met with you or had a call early on as well. So this whole process is run by one of the senior designers. So you're talking to a designer from the very outset of working with D2M. Now, the key thing about this proposal is it's broken down into manageable stages. So you're not asked to commit to a huge amount of money to start working with us. You're basically only ever committing to doing the next stage. So you're not committed to the whole project. And it's really in those kind of bite-sized steps so that at all times you're in control and you know exactly where you're at in terms of budget and in the process and what's next. Now, the proposal isn't fixed. It's our best guess of how the idea can be developed given the information you've already provided and what we know. But with any innovative product, and 95% of the stuff that we work on goes on to get patent or registered design because it's all innovative stuff, but you can't at the outset be absolutely definitive about everything that's going to be needed, how much time it's going to take, and how much it's going to cost. So things will change. But what we try to do is give you our best guess at that point. And we tend to err on the side of caution because we much rather have pleasant conversations later in the project saying, actually, we can do this more cost effectively now, or we can take out this stage and save you some money. That's much better than obviously having a conversation 3/4 of the way through the project saying, well, actually, your costs have doubled, you need another prototype, and it's going to be more expensive. There are agencies that do that. They kind of lure you in with an initial low price proposal, full well knowing that it's going to escalate and you're going to be like the the frog slowly boiled in a pan of water. But that isn't what we do at D2M. We run a very open and transparent process, and this plan, it won't quite be a worst case scenario, but it will certainly be a cautious development plan that will tended to be costed higher and have more stages in it than we hope we actually need as we go through, so that you can be reassured that you know what your kind of overall spend is going to be, and that it's going to be a pleasant experience with some cost reductions along the way, rather than the other way around. We basically then have a call or a meeting to review the proposal, and this is quite critical as well, because it might be that what we suggest, you look at it and go, well, actually, I can do that bit, or I've got a mate who might be able to help here, and that kind of thing. And we're quite flexible, including some of the companies we work with, they do all the engineering design because they've got in-house engineers, and they just come to us for the product styling, the initial user research, or maybe the user-centered design. And that's fine, and we're quite happy to be flexible and agile in our plan, which is why this is critical. It's also a really important point where you can come and meet the designer on your project. Now, that might have been the designer who's taken you through this process so far, but it might be that someone else on the team has more relevant experience, and they're actually going to be the key person who you're dealing with throughout the project. And that's really important too. At D2M, we don't have account handlers between you and the person doing the design work. You deal directly with your designer. But that's why it's really important to meet them, because this person's going to be critical, and you getting on with this person and them understanding the vision for your product is going to make a huge difference. So again, before you've spent any money with us, before you've signed any contracts or anything else, you're going to meet your designer, make sure that you're happy and comfortable, that they understand what you're trying to achieve, and that they're the right person for you to work with. So once we've done that, we might review the proposal and slightly tweak it at that stage to be more in line with what you have in mind. We'll then issue a contract for signing, which protects both parties and just means that all the expectations are managed and everyone knows exactly what the boundaries are and how we're going to work together. That's written in plain English, and quite happy to come back with questions or anything else on that. We need you to be happy and content that that's the right contract for you. So that's not a problem at all. And then once you've kind of signed that and we're moving forward, then we'll issue kind of an invoice just for the first stage. Again, not asking you to commit to the whole project. It's all done in these manageable chunks. And then at that stage, we can kick the project off. And that, again, it could be a meeting that you come in with whatever kind of basic prototypes you've made, or your back of an envelope sketches, or any further thoughts you've had on the project. And then your designer will get stuck into your project and off you go. So that basically is the route from getting in touch right the way through to your project being kicked off. I really suggest that you watch this video now, because that is going to go through a bit more about who we are as an agency, how we work, show you behind the scenes, and that really is the next key step. So have a look at that, and we hope to hear from you soon.